The weight of a secret can crush you until you can't breathe anymore, and that's exactly how I've felt for months now. Every time I look at him, I see the love in his eyes, the trust he has in me, and it tears me apart because he's carrying a burden that he doesn't even know about. The truth is buried deep inside me, but it's not just my secret anymore. It's growing with every passing day, literally growing inside me. I'm pregnant, and there are moments when I wonder if this child is even his. This isn't just a story of betrayal or guilt, it's a confession of something so complicated, so tangled up in emotions that sometimes I don't even recognize myself anymore. It all started innocently enough, or at least that's what I tell myself when I try to justify it. Life wasn't perfect. We were struggling financially and emotionally like many couples do after years together. He worked long hours trying to provide for us while I stayed home feeling more isolated than ever. We stopped talking, really talking, not just about bills and chores, but about dreams, fears, desires. And then one day someone walked into my life, someone who listened without judgment, someone who made me feel seen again. It began as harmless conversations over coffee, turning into lunches, then dinners, and eventually late-night talks that should never have happened. At first I told myself it wasn't real, that nothing would come of it, but loneliness has a way of twisting your thoughts, making you believe things you know deep down are wrong. One night everything changed. It was raining hard outside, and I found myself standing on his doorstep, soaked through, pleading for shelter from the storm, both literal and metaphorical. That was the moment when lines blurred, boundaries disappeared, and I crossed a line I'd sworn I'd never cross. What happened next haunts me every single day. When I discovered I was pregnant, joy mixed with terror in equal measure. On one hand, there was excitement at the thought of becoming a mother, creating a new life with the man I loved. But on the other hand, doubt crept in, gnawing at me relentlessly. Was this baby truly his? Or was it a reminder of the betrayal I had committed? Every ultrasound appointment, every kick and flutter reminded me of the uncertainty swirling within me. I wanted to be happy, purely happy, yet guilt shadowed every smile, every tender moment shared with him. How could I celebrate this miracle knowing full well it might not belong to us? I've tried to push those doubts aside, to focus on being grateful for the blessing of pregnancy, but they always resurface, especially during quiet moments alone. My mind races, replaying memories of that night, wondering if fate decided to punish me for my mistake. Do hormones coursing through my body carry traces of someone else? Is this child's DNA a reflection of someone who's no longer part of my life? These questions torment me endlessly, leaving me paralyzed by fear of discovery. Yet despite the turmoil, I keep going through the motions, pretending everything is fine because admitting the truth feels impossible. The hardest part isn't living with the lie, though, it's watching him prepare for fatherhood with such genuine excitement. Hez painting the nursery, picking out tiny clothes, reading books about parenting, all while believing he's welcoming his own flesh and blood into the world. Seeing his enthusiasm breaks my heart because I know how devastated he'd be if he learned the truth. It's selfish, really, keeping this from him, letting him dream only to potentially shatter those dreams later. But what choice do I have? Telling him now would destroy everything we've built, tear apart our family before it's even begun. Every morning I wake up beside him. Guilt presses down on me like an invisible weight. Some days it's manageable, a dull ache in the background of my mind. Other days it's suffocating, overwhelming me until I can't breathe. There are times when I want to scream, confess everything, let the chips fall where they may. But then reality sets in, and I remember the consequences, the pain I'd inflict, not just on him, but on everyone involved, including myself. So instead, I bury it deeper, hoping against hope that somehow it'll find redemption. People say confession is good for the soul, but they don't understand what it's like to carry a secret this heavy. It's not just about cheating or lying, it's about facing the possibility that I may have ruined 2 lives forever. Every decision I make revolves around protecting him, shielding him from the truth, even though I know it's unfair to both of us. Sometimes, I wonder if I'm doing the right thing or if I'm simply prolonging the inevitable. Either way, the burden grows heavier with each passing day, threatening to consume me entirely. And then there's the baby. This tiny human growing inside me who deserves unconditional love regardless of whose genes they share. Shouldn't that be enough? Shouldn't the act of bringing life into the world cleanse me of my sins? But no matter how much I try to convince myself otherwise, I can't escape the fact that their existence is tied to a moment of weakness, a lapse in judgment that I regret every single day. Regret, however, doesn't erase the past, nor does it absolve me of responsibility. If I could turn back time, I'd change everything. I'd resist temptation, stay faithful, honor the vows I made. But here's the cruel irony of it all. Despite the guilt eating away at me, I can't say with absolute certainty that I wouldn't do it again given the same circumstances. That's what's most terrifying about this whole situation, the realization that I'm capable of making the same mistakes over and over, driven by emotions I can't fully control. Does that make me a terrible person? Maybe. All I know is that I'm trapped in a cycle of self-loathing and desperation, unable to break free. There are moments when I consider ending it all, walking away before anyone gets hurt further. But where would that leave him? Where would that leave this child? Running away solves nothing. It only postpones the inevitable explosion of truth. Besides, I don't want to abandon abandon them, not after coming this far, not after dreaming of raising a family together. So I stay stuck in limbo, torn between loyalty and honesty, faithfulness and transparency. Each path offers its own kind of suffering, and neither guarantees peace. As the due date approaches, anxiety builds inside me, reaching unbearable levels. Will the baby look like him? Will they inherit traits that raise suspicions? What happens if genetic testing confirms my worst fears? These scenarios play out in my head, constantly taunting me, reminding me of the fragile foundation upon which our future rests. Even if by some miracle the child turns out to be his, will I ever truly forgive myself? Can I live with the knowledge that I gambled with his happiness for fleeting comfort? I'm standing here today sharing this not because I seek absolution, but because I need guidance. I've reached a point where silence feels unbearable, yet speaking the truth seems equally devastating. What should I do? Should I confess everything, risk losing everything we've built in pursuit of honesty? Or should I continue living this lie, hoping that time heals all wounds? Deep down, I know neither option offers true salvation, but maybe hearing perspectives from others will help me navigate this moral labyrinth. So tell me, what would you do in my shoes? If you were faced with a choice between preserving a relationship built on trust or revealing a painful truth that could dismantle everything, would you have the courage to speak up? Or would you choose silence, clinging to the illusion of normalcy? Whatever your answer is, please share it with me, because right now, I'm drowning in uncertainty, desperate for any lifeline that might pull me back to shore.